Okay. So we're going to continue today, and we are going to work on this part right outside. This one that comes from right behind, in front of the bird down, and it turns. So again, same raw umber and white, like last week. I'm gonna zoom in, and when we start. Okay, so raw umber and white. Mix them. Try to get a medium tone, not too dark, not too light, because we're going to be highlighting and we're going to be darkening. You know, we're going to be adding shadows. So this is good. Acrylic dries darker, so we don't want a color that is, you know, if I want this color, this one here, I know that it's going to dry darker. So whatever I mix, I keep in mind it's going to go darker. I think this is okay. Yep. For a first layer. I'm trying not to get my hand in the way. So you can see. Trying to put a bit of water in my paint, at least for the first layer. It doesn't have to be too thick, because then I keep room for different layers that I'm going to be adding. I'm going to let this dry a bit at the bottom where I am right now. Let it dry. Meanwhile, I'm going to add a bit of white at this point. and start again from this part. This part of the detail is not too deep in, so the highlight is strong in here.
Can you put your can you lower your picture just a little bit?
Zoom in.
I can't see the top where the bird. Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
All right. This
And
looks
this is,
really light in on the monitor. It looks lighter than it is here. I'm going to change my brush because the brush I'm using is too small and it's drying on me. So
is your where you're turning from the one turn that goes up to the top, and then the next one that seems to the one you haven't highlighted, is that right into the bird tail? Because I don't have that on my, I can't see it. Where does it turn? Like I don't know if I've got too much on one side here.
okay, so it starts from here,
Yeah.
right here, and it's right here, right there only.
And is that the bird tail?
That's coming out this way?
Yeah.
No, it's part of the background stone. It's this. It's this part. We haven't worked on that yet. Oh, you know what? I'll work on it just for you to see because this is,
No, that's okay. I see it now.
you see it? It's
Yeah,
okay.
I just gotta figure it on my.
Oh, even this brush is not working. Okay, let's see this one. Let's see if a brand new brush will work better. So this part right here, it turns in. So that means I'm gonna darken this a bit right there because it turns inside. It turns a bit slow, a little bit in. Right there. This one here, this part is more highlighted. This part right there comes out. Do you need violence away? Hmm? Do you need violence away?
Yeah.
Do you need what? It's still wet, right? Mm. Yes, I'm using more kind of wet on wet. Yeah. A little bit of wet on wet techniques so I can get a soft highlight, not harsh. Although problem with acrylics is it's not like oil. It really, you have to be really careful.
Okay, okay, okay.
I'm going to highlight this part too. And I'm going to let it dry because what's happening right now is the highlights are mixing in too much with the rest of the paint. I lost the highlight, but that's okay. I'll put it back later on.
Oh,
You want me to stop a bit? So the first layer, I try to have a kind of a more wet paint to go into all of those, because I'm working on a canvas. I just want to fill the grooves. I look at the reference. If I see a darker shade, I darken, but not strong. So this is the darkest dark right here. I'm not darkening that much right now. I'm darkening this part. I'm using this part, this value to spread it all over. And then I can from there go light and dark, adjust the shadows and lights. The first thing, I'm just covering all of this brown that I have. And then I go back and adjust. You'll see once we put highlights and we put shadows, it will look much better. Right now, we're just covering. Whatever you end up with right now, it's okay. Hmm. I'll do this, the filling, and then I'll pause. I'm going to go a little bit darker at this point here. I'm going to darken this eventually more, but for now, only this is enough because it's going to dry darker anyway. It's amazing how dark acrylic can be. Now I don't need to be that dark in this area.
I need to catch up here.
Yeah. I will stop in a minute. I promise. I'm just gonna cover only this part. So the paint, because it's acrylics, I don't want it to dry in patches. And then we will pick up. All right. Okay, so let's work on this part here. I'll take
Can I call you back?
raw umber and white, and I'm going to start highlighting a bit so I can see it. That's the only way to see it, is to start highlighting it. So I can see that this part here is light, really lighter than any of the other parts. Right there. Right. So this is not the final highlight. It's going to be highlighted more, but for now it's good. I'm going to be doing this. This is the first layer. Now I'm going to go in, down, meaning down, not in, down, slowly. And I'm going to start adding a little bit more of the raw umber into that highlight, into this lighter color to make it look like it's turning. Okay, now more, because this is going to turn a lot more down here. Right there. Good. Like this. You can take your head. Same, this part. And the more I go in, the darker I add more of the raw umber. There. So now let's pick up white again, because it's drying, right? So it dries darker. I can't tell unless it dries. And I'm gonna highlight this. My paint is kind of still a bit wet. Spread it softly. Even if I have to use a dry brush. There. Use a dry brush to mix it. picking up only raw umber, and I'm going to pause in a minute. Oh, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should wait. I'm reshaping it. Negative painting.
You make it look like there's a light on it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. There is a light on it. It's highlighted more than the other.
Okay.
So in this part right here, I have a highlight. Next to the highlight, I am putting a darker, slightly darker value. And I'm going to leave this really dark, and I will be making this even darker in a minute. So the strong highlight is right here. I'm doing this on purpose so you can see it. Right next to it is a darker value. So I'm using more white here, right there. Next to it, I'm adding a tiny bit of raw umber to my white, and I'm putting it next to it because it's going in. And the more it goes in, the darker it becomes. So I have 3 values in here. I have light, medium, dark in that little tiny space. I'm just letting this dry inside because I need to add just raw umber because I need to darken this more. Now, I'm going to get here. Oh, this is too highlight, too light. I'm going to darken this a bit. Okay, what I'm going to do, highlight this line. And then again, start pulling in some raw umber. And again, start pulling in more white, just between white and dark, light and dark. It's a kind of like a dance. I'm finding this gap too strong, so I'm going in with a medium tone to soften it. Darken a bit. I'm taking advantage of the dark color underneath and I'm leaving it there. I'm not using, I'm highlighting around it, but I'm trying to leave it. There's a soft, yeah, that's soft line in there.
Oh.
I'm going to try to take just raw umber, and I'm going to go in here, darken this with just raw umber, nothing else. This part right here comes over. Oh, this is too white. This part right there comes over this. Right there. Now I need to soften this color in here, make it a bit lighter. It's too dark right now. Shall I wait? Yes? Yeah?
I'm already way behind, so whatever works for you.
All right. Okay, I'll wait. I'll wait. Okay, so I'm filling the rest of the motif in the same raw umber and white, and I'm going to keep filling it. It's kind of mid-tone, just to fill it so we can see it, and next week we'll add the highlights and the darks again. This will give me an idea how the motif looks. There are some details in here that are hard to see, but we'll manage. Okay. So I'm just going to keep filling this mid-tone, not too light, not too dark. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you come up with. It doesn't have to be a certain specific color, but something that we can highlight and we can darken from there. Okay, so this is the part where I can see a little bit of some darks and light. Okay, so this is an outer part, kind of outer part of the motif, and because the inner part is a bit darker, I'm going to add a bit of more of the raw umber again over here. This will make it very easy next week to darken and highlight and bring the motif out. All right, okay, let's go back. This part is kind of in the shadowy area. I'm adding a little bit more of the raw umber for the inside. This part is darker. Again, mid-tone. I can go darker in here, but okay, yeah, let's do that. Actually, this is darker. So let's take a bit more of the raw umber. Okay. This is the wall where the motif is sitting on that wall. Okay. And this wall becomes darker inside, lighter outside. We can adjust the values later on. Okay. More. I'm getting there. Now, I will do the whole wall in this color, lighter, darker, it doesn't matter. The rest of the painting, I mean, right here. So change my brush, maybe take a brush that's bigger. And it really doesn't matter because I can adjust all of that later on. Right now, I'm just trying to cover. And I'm not gonna cover, I'll show you what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna cover the whole thing. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave some of that brown showing through, and I'm gonna do this. An edge that is not 100% clean. I'm gonna keep some of this brown showing. I think it's just nicer, not for anything. It's just kind of interesting to do that. If I don't like it when I'm done, I can always cover it. But I'm gonna make a decision once everything is done. Trying to keep all of this area darker right here. Now on this side, I have a lighter wall, so I can go with a lighter value. I don't have to do it now. I can do it later on. This is just to cover the canvas. I will deal with all of the values later on. And details. I'll adjust the details. Okay, getting there. The messy job right now, it looks really messy, but that's okay. We are going to fix this next week. Okay, let's just finish this one here. Okay, this is ready for next week, so we can All right, this is approximately how it looks for this week. Next week we'll continue.